Stevie Nicks is an American singer, songwriter, and producer known for her work with the band Fleetwood Mac and as a solo artist. Born May 26, 1948, age 75 years, Phoenix, Arizona, United States. Spuse, Kim Anderson, May 1983-1983. Music group, Fleetwood Mac. Partner, Lindsey Buckingham. Parents, Barbara Nicks, Jess Nicks. Siblings, Chris Nicks. Stevie Nicks net worth $120 million. Stevie Nicks. 1948 to 1971, early life and career beginnings. Stephanie Estevie Nicks was born at Good Samaritan Hospital in Phoenix, Arizona to Jess and Barbara Nicks. Nicks is of German, English, Welsh, and Irish ancestry. Nicks' grandfather, Aaron Jess Gay J. Nicks Sr. taught Nicks to sing duets with him by the time she was 4 years old. Nicks' mother was protective, keeping her at home more than most people and fostered in her daughter a love of fairy tales. As a toddler, Stephanie could pronounce her own name only as a TD, which led to her nickname of Estevie. I listened to lots of top 40 R&B radio. I loved the Shirelles and Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, stuff like Remember, Walking in the Sand, by the Shangri-Las. Bought me a truckload of records when I was in the 5th grade. There must have been 150 singles, country, rockabilly, some Everly Brothers, a song called Party Doll that went, come along and be my party doll / and I'll make love to you. Stevie Nicks. Her father's frequent relocation as a vice president of Greyhound had the family living in Phoenix, Albuquerque, El Paso, Salt Lake City, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. With the Goya guitar that she received for her 16th birthday, Nicks wrote her first song, titled, I've Loved and I've Lost, and I'm Sad But Not Blue. She spent her adolescence playing records constantly and lived in her own little musical world. While attending Arcadia High School in Arcadia, California, she joined her first band, The Changing Times, a folk rock band focused on vocal harmonies. Nicks met her future musical and romantic partner, Lindsey Buckingham, during her senior year at Menlo Atherton High School in Atherton, California. When she saw Buckingham playing a California Dreamin' at the Young Life Club, she joined him in harmony. She recalled, I thought he was a darling. Buckingham was in psychedelic rock band Fritz, but 2 of its musicians were leaving for college. He asked Nicks in mid-1967 to replace the lead singer. Fritz later opened for Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin from 1968 until 1970. Nicks credits both acts as inspiring her stage intensity and performance. Nicks and Buckingham attended San Jose State University, where Nicks majored in speech communication and planned to become an English teacher. With her father's blessing, she dropped out of college to pursue a musical career with Buckingham. Personal life. Nicks in 1977. Nicks was romantically linked to Lindsey Buckingham from 1966 to 1977, briefly to Mick Fleetwood in 1978, to Eagles drummer/vocalist Don Henley during the late 1970s, and briefly to Eagles songwriter J.D. Souther. In 1979, Nicks had an abortion after becoming pregnant by Henley. Nicks' only marriage was to Kim Anderson, the widower of her best friend Robin Anderson. They married in 1983 soon after Robin Anderson died of leukemia and while the Belladonna album was on the top of the charts. Nicks later explained of the marriage, I was determined to take care of baby, so I said to Kim, I don't know, I guess we should just get married. Nicks and Anderson divorced after only 3 months, and so we got married 3 months after she died, and it was a terrible, terrible mistake. We didn't get married because we were in love, we got married because we were grieving and it was the only way that we could feel like we were doing anything. Years after the divorce, she reunited with her stepson when he was a teenager, putting him through college, and has maintained contact with him ever since. In 2020, Nicks said in an interview for The Guardian that his daughter, named Robin after his late mother, calls Nicks Grandma Stevie. She connected with Jimmy Iovine, who produced Belladonna, during 1980-81, and with Eagles and James Gang guitarist Joe Walsh during 1983-1986, to whom she referred in 2007 as one of her greatest loves, but the couple could not sustain the relationship because of mutual drug abuse. Nicks toured with Walsh in 1984 and wrote, Has anyone ever written anything for you? About Walsh's deceased daughter. Until July 2007, Nicks lived in Paradise Valley, Arizona, a suburb of Phoenix, in a home she had built in 1981 and shared with her brother, Christopher Nicks, his wife, Lori Perry Nicks, and their daughter, Jessica, her niece. She announced in mid-2007 that her Paradise Valley home would be put up for sale, citing her aspirations to downsize and focus more on her charity work, and that in the previous year she had only spent about 2 weeks there. The house was put on the market for a reported $3.8 million and later sold for $3 million. Nix became an ordained minister with the Universal Life Church and officiated at the wedding of Dear Tick singer John Macaulay and singer-songwriter Vanessa Carlton on December 27, 2013. Nix has said that she consciously chose not to have children of her own, due to her demanding career and desire to follow her art wherever it should take her. My mission maybe wasn't to be a mom and a wife, maybe my particular mission was to write songs to make moms and wives feel better. Of her niece, godchildren, former stepson, and extended family she says, I have lots of kids. It's much more fun to be the crazy auntie than it is to be the mom anyway. Nix has maintained a journal nearly every day since her tenure in Fleetwood Mac began. She has said, I like to tell all my fairy goddaughters and my niece that when I'm gone they can sit on the floor and go through all these journals, and they can walk through my life, and they can smell the gardenia perfume on the pages. They can have it in their hands who I was. Regarding a book based on her life, she has said, I wouldn't write a book unless I could really tell the truth and say all the people are in it are represented right. If I'm gonna talk about all the people in my life, I need to be old enough and so do they that nobody's gonna care. I would never write a book about the bad parts. I would mostly revel in the fantastic parts, of which there were so many.